The restaurant gleamed with soft golden lights that made everything look like a dream. Sophia Chen wiped down table 7 for the third time, her pale green apron slightly rumpled from 6 hours on her feet. At 23, she'd been waiting tables at the Meridian for 2 years while taking online business classes at night. The money was decent. The tips from wealthy diners kept her small apartment rent paid, and her student loans from drowning her completely. But nights like tonight, when the restaurant was fully booked with couples celebrating anniversaries and promotions, made her heart ache with loneliness. At table 12, a man sat alone. Sophia had noticed him the moment he arrived. Maybe 38 or 40 with silver streaking through his dark hair, strong features, and eyes that seemed to carry the weight of the world. His charcoal suit probably cost more than she made in 3 months. He'd been there for 40 minutes, checking his watch, glancing at the door, clearly waiting for someone who wasn't coming. Sophia's manager, Richard, hurried past. Table 8 needs water, and keep an eye on the gentleman at 12. That's Marcus Donovan, CEO of Donovan Industries. If he's unhappy, I'm unhappy. The name meant nothing to Sophia, but the tension in Richard's voice told her everything she needed to know. Important, man. Don't mess up. She brought fresh water to table 8, then noticed a young woman in designer clothes standing near table 12. The woman looked at Marcus, then at her phone, then back at him. She shook her head and walked away, pulling out her phone to make a call. Marcus's jaw tightened. He knew. His blind date had taken one look and decided he wasn't worth her time. Sophia's heart clenched. She knew that feeling. That moment when someone decides you're not enough before giving you a chance. 20 minutes later, Marcus still sat there, staring at an untouched glass of wine. The restaurant's policy was clear. Tables needed to turn over. Richard was giving her pointed looks. Sophia took a breath and approached. Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have a reservation waiting for this table. Would you like me to move you to the bar or... I'll leave, Marcus said quietly. His voice was deep, controlled, but Sophia heard the hurt underneath. My apologies for taking up space. Something in Sophia snapped. Maybe it was the long shift. Maybe it was seeing someone else feel the rejection she'd felt so many times. Maybe it was just that she was tired of watching people treat each other as disposable. She glanced around. Richard was dealing with a complaint at the front. The other servers were busy. Sophia made a decision that would change everything. She untied her apron, draped it over a nearby chair, and slid into the seat across from Marcus. His eyes widened in surprise. What are you doing? Saving your table, Sophia said with a slight smile. Now you have a dining companion. They can't kick you out. Marcus stared at her like she'd spoken a foreign language. You'll get in trouble. Probably, Sophia admitted. But you looked like you could use a friendly face more than I need this job. A waiter Sophia didn't know well approached with menus, clearly confused, but professionally neutral. Marcus, still looking stunned, didn't send her away. I'm Sophia, she said, extending her hand across the table. He shook it slowly. His grip was firm, warm. Marcus. Nice to meet you, Marcus. So, rough night? A ghost of a smile touched his lips. You could say that. Blind date. My assistant set it up. She took one look at me and decided to leave before I even saw her. Her loss, Sophia said simply. Marcus studied her face, as if trying to determine whether she was mocking him. Whatever he saw made him relax slightly. You're direct, he observed. Life's too short to pretend, Sophia replied. Besides, anyone who judges someone in 30 seconds isn't worth the fancy reservation. Wise words from someone so young. Sophia laughed. I'm 23, not 12. I've had enough bad dates and worse jobs to know that kindness matters more than appearances. The waiter returned. Marcus looked at Sophia. Since we're doing this, you should actually eat. Order whatever you'd like. I can't let you... You just sacrificed your job to save my dignity. Marcus interrupted gently. The least I can do is buy you dinner, they ordered. And then something unexpected happened. They talked. Marcus told her about building his company from nothing, about losing his wife to cancer 5 years ago, about how work had become his whole life, because it was easier than facing an empty house. Sophia shared her dreams of opening her own restaurant someday, About losing her parents in a car accident when she was 19. About working 3 jobs to put herself through school because she refused to give up on her future. "You remind me of myself at your age," Marcus said softly. "Determined. Unafraid of hard work?" "Except you're a CEO and I'm a waitress who just got herself fired," Sophia pointed out. "About that," Marcus said. He pulled out his phone and made a call. "Richard?" "Marcus Donovan. The young woman who was serving me earlier, Sophia Chen. She's having dinner with me as my guest. I'd appreciate it if you didn't penalize her for that. In fact, I'm doubling my reservation fee for the disruption." He ended the call. Sophia's mouth hung open. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did," Marcus said. "You took a risk for a stranger. That's rare. Worth protecting." They finished dinner. Dessert arrived, rich chocolate cake that Sophia savored slowly. The restaurant began to empty. Marcus seemed in no hurry to leave, and neither was she. "Can I ask you something?" Sophia said. "Why do you look so sad?" "You're successful, clearly intelligent. What's missing?" Marcus was quiet for a long moment. "Purpose. I built something that employs 2,000 people, but I come home to silence. My wife used to say that success without someone to share it with is just decorated loneliness." She was right, Sophia said softly. "My parents taught me that people matter more than things. I miss them every single day, but I'm grateful I learned that lesson." Marcus met her eyes. "You sat down at this table as a mistake, but it feels like the first right thing that's happened to me in 5 years." 2 months later, Sophia stood in a bright corner office at Donovan Industries. Marcus had offered her a position in his company's hospitality division, developing employee wellness programs. The salary was triple what she'd made waitressing. "You're sure about this?" Sophia had asked when he first offered. "I'm investing in talent," Marcus had replied. "You have intelligence, compassion, and work ethic. The rest can be learned, but it became more than just a job." Marcus mentored her, teaching her about business strategy and leadership. Sophia brought warmth back into his life, reminding him that success meant nothing without human connection. They had coffee every morning in his office, lunch most days, dinners that stretched into long conversations about everything and nothing. Sophia noticed how Marcus started smiling more, how he began leaving work at reasonable hours, how he talked about his late wife without the haunted look in his eyes. Marcus watched Sophia blossom, her natural talents finding room to grow. She revolutionized the company's culture, implementing programs that made employees feel valued rather than expendable. 6 months after that night at the restaurant, they stood together at a company gala. Sophia wore a simple blue dress she'd bought with her first big paycheck. Marcus couldn't take his eyes off her. "What are you thinking?" she asked. "That walking into that restaurant was supposed to be one of the worst nights of my life," Marcus said. "And instead it became the beginning of the best thing that ever happened to me." "A waitress sitting at the wrong table?" Sophia teased. "The right person in the right moment," Marcus corrected. He took her hand. "Sophia, I know there's an age difference. I know people will talk. But somewhere between that first dinner and now, I fell in love with you." Sophia's breath caught. She'd felt it too, growing slowly like a garden in spring. The way her heart lifted when she saw him. The way his smile had become her favorite sight. "I love you too," she whispered. "You saw potential in me when I was just trying to survive. You gave me a chance to become who I was meant to be." "You did that yourself," Marcus said. "I just opened a door. You walked through it and changed everything." A year later, they returned to the Meridian for dinner. Richard, the manager, seated them personally at table 12. "This is where it started," Marcus said, looking at Sophia across the candlelight. "Where a brave young woman decided that kindness mattered more than keeping her job." He pulled out a small velvet box. Sophia's. Hands flew to her mouth. "You taught me that. Life is about the people we choose to sit with," Marcus said. "About seeing past surfaces to the person underneath. About second chances and unexpected grace." He opened the box to reveal a simple, elegant ring. "Will you keep sitting at my table, Sophia? For the rest of our lives?" Through happy tears, Sophia nodded. "Yes, always yes," the restaurant staff applauded. Richard brought champagne on the house. And at table 12, Two people who'd found each other in the most unlikely way celebrated the beginning of their forever, because sometimes the wrong table is exactly where you're meant to be. Sometimes a mistake becomes a miracle. And sometimes when you choose kindness over self-preservation, you find something more valuable than you ever imagined. Love doesn't always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes it starts with a simple act of compassion, a moment of courage, and two people brave enough to see the possibility in the unexpected. The blind date never showed up. But the right person was there all along, wearing a pale green apron and carrying a heart full of grace. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it with someone who believes in unexpected beginnings. Subscribe for more stories about love, second chances, and the moments that change our lives forever. Comment below and tell us about a time when something that seemed like a mistake turned into a blessing. Your story matters.